Very good morning, my dear children of class 9. Today we are going to learn about cell division. We have learned in the cell theory, the third point we have learned that the cells arise from pre-existing cells. So each cell can give rise to two new cells. So how does it take place? Today we are going to learn. So before that, let us revise the structure of nucleus. So this is the nuclear envelope, and inside nucleoplasm and nucleolus, and this is what is called a chromatin network. Chromatin network. And I told you when we learned the structure of nucleus that this chromatin network becomes chromosomes at the time of cell division. So let us define cell division. It is the process in which the existing cells give rise to new cells. So new cells are formed by cell division. Then there are two types of cell division. One kind is meiosis and the second kind is mitosis. So the two kinds of cell division are mitosis and meiosis. Okay, let us now understand what are or how does this cell division takes place. Okay, now let us understand the structure of chromosome before we go into the detail. So this is a chromosome. Okay, and such kind of many chromosomes are in the form of chromatin network in the nucleus normally. Okay, so a chromosome, let us understand, a chromosome has two arms. These two are called the arms, and there is a central portion called the centromere. So the arms are attached to the centromere. Now at the time of cell division, that is when the cell is preparing for cell division, what happens? This chromosomes, each chromosome give rise to another new chromosome. Also we have learned chromosomes are made up of DNA. Okay, chemically it is DNA. So each DNA gives rise to another copy of it. So, and these are called the chromatids. So these two are called the sister chromatids. So they are exactly same. The location of the genes are the same, length is the same, exact replica. And during cell division, these two will be separated into daughter chromosome. So after understanding the chromosome structure, let us go in detail about the cell division. First kind of cell division is mitosis. Now mitosis is also known as, or mitosis is known as equational division. Why is it equational division? I'll tell you a little later. So mitosis is the type of cell division in which the cell gives rise to two new cells, and the dividing cells are called parent cells, and the new cells formed are called the daughter cells. The two cells which are formed contain exactly the same number of chromosomes. That is why this cell division is known as equational division. So a question can be asked in the exam, why is mitosis known as equational division? Equational means equal. So it has equal number of chromosomes as in the parent cell. So just let us have a quick look at this. This is the parent cell which is dividing. This has two cells, and see the daughter cells which are having these are having two chromosomes, and these are the daughter cells formed, and the daughter cells also have two chromosomes in each. So equal number of chromosomes as in the parent cell, and that is why it is known as equational division. Okay, knowing that, let us move on to the next for further details. Okay, so here is a nice image I have taken. Let us see. This is interphase. Interphase means the cell growth and cell is preparing for the division. Okay, and in interphase, as you have learned the structure of nucleus, this is the chromatin network. Okay, and they gradually becomes the chromosomes like this. And there are 4 phases in mitosis. One is, the first phase is called the prophase, then the second phase is called the metaphase, third phase is anaphase, and the fourth phase is called the telophase. Now let us understand what's happening in all the 4 phases. Prophase is the first phase. It is the beginning of cell division. So what happened? Each chromosome, as I have shown you earlier, each chromosome is divided into now 2 chromosomes. So these are the sister chromatids. See, we are taking the minimum number of chromosomes, that is 4 chromosomes. You can draw 2 also, 2 chromosomes. And one more thing, important thing is, chromosome number is always equal. So you can take the minimum number 2 or 4 for understanding this. And in humans we have 46 chromosomes, so even number of chromosomes. So always you have to draw even number of chromosomes. 2 you can draw, 4 you can draw, 6 you can draw, and so on. Okay, even number of chromosomes. So each chromosome in the prophase, see, it has 2 chromatids. That is, it is exact replica of the DNA, exact copy of the DNA. And so what are the changes in prophase? Number 1, shortening and thickening of chromosomes take place. So they become individual chromosomes like this. Okay, and remember, each chromosome, 2 sister chromatids are attached to the centromere. The centromere holds them. Okay, so they are not separated. So they are one single chromosome with the 2 sister chromatids. So you can see the 2 sister chromatids in each. Okay, and then you can see this is the whole cell. Where is the nuclear membrane? In prophase, nuclear membrane disappears. Gradually, nuclear membrane disappears. So that's why you are not seeing the nuclear membrane here. Here it was. So when it enters into prophase, nuclear membrane disappears. Then you cannot see nucleolus also here. So nucleolus disappears. So there are 3 important changes in prophase. First one, the chromosome, shortening and thickening of the chromosome. We can call it condensation of chromosome. Condensation of chromosome. Then second change is nucleolus disappears. Nuclear membrane disappears. Third change is nuclear membrane disappears. So the chromosomes are now scattered in the cytoplasm. And in animal cells, in the near to the nucleus, there is one more structure, that is centrosome or centriole. Here you can label as centrosome or centriole. And in prophase, the centriole also divides, and each pole of the cell gets one centriole. So here is one centriole, and the other one is in this pole. Okay, so these are the changes in the prophase. Then comes to second phase, metaphase. In metaphase, what happens? There is one significant change, that is, all these chromosomes, now here in prophase it is scattered, these chromosomes now migrated into the, or they are moved into the equator of the cell. So the central portion of the cell is called the equator. So the chromosomes move to the equator of the cell, and you can see the centriole give rise to this thread-like structures. These structures are called the centrioles. Okay, so the centrioles are holding the chromosomes. Why? I'll tell you. So these are the 2 changes. Important change is chromosomes move to the equator of the cell. Second change is spindle fibers start forming. Okay, now it enters into the third phase, which is called the anaphase. See, in the anaphase, what is happening is very important change. That is, the centromere is splitting. See, the centromere is splitting. So what happened? Actually it begins in the late metaphase itself. So the centromere splits. So these 2 chromatids are separated, and the 2 chromatids are now in the anaphase. They are moving towards the poles. It is moving towards the poles. Okay, the centriole sending spindle fibers, so the spindle fibers are pulling the chromatids to each pole. So from each chromosome, one chromatid will move to one pole and the other chromatid will move to the other pole. Okay, so here you can see. So what happens? Each pole will get equal number of chromatids. So जितना chromosomes था इधर, तो उतना chromatids, that is each pole is getting equal number of chromatids. 4 chromatids are here, 4 chromatids are there. So if it is a human cell, there will be 46 chromatids here and 46 chromatids here. I hope you have understood anaphase. Then comes to the fourth phase, that is called a telophase. So telophase means see here, first thing is the nuclear membrane reappears. It is just the opposite of prophase. So here nuclear membrane reappears, nucleolus also reappears. You can draw the nucleolus also here, and these chromatids becomes the chromosome. So in both the poles. So here completes the nuclear division, and nuclear division is called karyokinesis. K-A-R-Y-O. Karyo means nucleus, kinesis means division. So here here the karyokinesis is completing. So karyokinesis means nuclear division, and now the cytoplasm has to divide so that the two cells are separated. So the division of cytoplasm is called cytokinesis. Cytokinesis. So cell division is completed with the karyokinesis and cytokinesis, and two daughter cells are formed. And in these two daughter cells, as I told you, equal number of chromosomes. In both the cells, equal number of chromosomes as in the parent cell. So in the parent cell there were 4 chromosomes. So here you see there are 4 chromosomes. So this is the end of mitosis. Okay, I'll show you one more image here. The same, anyone you can draw in your notebook. So this is the interphase. Chromosomes are scattered. And second, here it comes to prophase. Prophase is shortening and thickening of chromosomes. Centriole is dividing, isn't it? And each of them going to opposite poles. And here are the 4 chromosomes with its chromatids. Okay, 2 sister chromatids are there. And here is the metaphase. In metaphase you can see very well that these chromosomes are arranged in the center of the cell. And see the centriole now located in the poles of the cell. And remember, animal cells only have centriole. Plant cells do not have centriole. And plant cells also, but from the poles the spindle fibers arise to pull the chromosomes. And see in the anaphase, each chromosome is now the chromatids are separating and going to opposite poles. So see, first this chromosome and one chromatid moving to this pole, other chromatid moving to this pole, and so on with all the 4 chromosomes. And finally here is the cytokinesis. Cytokinesis is taking place. So karyokinesis is completed here, and here see, you can see the nuclear membrane reappearing. Nucleolus also will reappear here, and after cytokinesis, see 2 daughter cells are formed, and they become now this chromatid now becomes the chromatin network again, and these are the daughter cells. Okay, and these cells will grow, and when they also again this cycle continues. Each of the cells will these cells will divide again. So this is the complete stages, phases of mitosis. And now let us see what is the significance of mitosis. Significance means importance of mitosis. Number 1, it takes place in somatic cells as well as in reproductive cells. Just understand, what are somatic cells? All our body cells except the reproductive cells. Reproductive cells are present in the reproductive organs, and somatic cells are all other body cells. So please write the definition of this also. Somatic cells means all body cells except the reproductive cell. And second type of cell is reproductive cells, which are seen in the reproductive organs. Okay, and so because the division takes place, what happens? It helps in growth and repair. Growth of the body. We all have grown because of the cell division, and whenever a wound or injury occurs, new cells are formed from the surrounding cells. So the wound healing, that is called a repair. Wound healing takes place. Growth, you know that we all are formed in class 8. You must have studied in reproduction. After fertilization, a zygote is formed. Zygote is a single cell, and in the mother's womb or uterus. Okay, and the single cell divides and redivides to form the embryo. We have learned that is growth, and even after birth also we have grown this much. Now we have so many cells and large number of cells in our body. We are multicellular, so all these cells are formed, and that is what is the growth. So mitosis helps in growth and repair. So this is one of the important significance. One of the significance of mitosis. And then another importance is that this is the method, it serves as the method of reproduction in unicellular organisms. It serves as the method of reproduction in unicellular organisms. Remember, amoeba, paramecium, we are very familiar with. And these organisms, single cell, they have only single cell, and in this single cell division means it is their reproduction. For example, an amoeba cell divides means it will form 2 daughter amoebae, or paramecium divides by mitosis, it becomes 2 new or 2 younger paramecium. So all the unicellular organisms, this is the method of reproduction, and I hope you have understood very well. And in the next video, I will explain the second type of cell division, that is meiosis. Okay, bye bye. Please like and subscribe and share this video if you like it. Thank you very much.